Hello there, and welcome to the 12th ever episode of the J.A.W.W.A podcast, featuring William Jacobs. You're supposed to clap. Tamika Brown. And the one, the only, for the intro only, Keanu Ritchie.
He has to leave.
All right, bye.
Thank you. That was fast. So, what we're planning on doing today is not that surprising. We are going to be playing Mario Kart while talking.
About whatever our minds come up with.
Precisely. Oh wait, can I update my system? Probably. I don't think you need Wi-Fi for updating the system. Yeah, no.
Is that an OLED?
It's one of the bigger ones, yeah. Yeah, no. My sister technically got it for Christmas. But we've just been using it. Not like a ton, yeah.
I've always wanted to get one. I just, like, when I got this one, I got it last year. And I could have gotten it on OLED. I just never did because I wanted to do modding and hack my Switch. Otherwise,
Which
I would have
worked.
gotten that one probably. But yeah. I am not updating my console right now. And hopefully it'll still work. Do you have the DLC?
On this, no.
Okay.
But I'm sure it would work if you had it, didn't you?
I don't have it.
Oh, right.
I have it, but not on the Switch. Start
We should
software.
just steal it from... What, Keanu?
Log into his Nintendo account. I mean, I could because I have a Nintendo account on it. It's just I have the Nintendo account on a different Switch, and the other one's the mandatory
Oh.
or the main Switch. And so, unless this is connected to Wi-Fi, I can't use the DLC.
That makes sense.
Which is annoying because there's no Wi-Fi in the school that works with it.
Oh, this is my sister's me.
Okay.
That's okay.
Here.
What do we want, 150?
Yeah. I've always thought about bringing some type of modem here and just hooking up a Wi-Fi network for like
That's
upstairs.
Smart, 'cause
It's just I don't know which teacher I'd ask for permission because I'd have to put it in someone's classroom, and it has to have an Ethernet port in that classroom. So I could put it.
probably in the computer lab, yeah.
Yeah, I just need permission for it. Which I mean, I don't think would be that hard.
Yeah, 'cause I think Slykehouse would be fine with it.
I mean, I hooked up a Wi-Fi network when we did the game jam. He never even noticed.
Why would he notice now?
Yeah. What?
Oh, I was just thinking. We've been disconnected.
Huh?
I was disconnected. I don't know why.
Oh.
Here, you create a room this time.
'Kay.
Have we talked about our latest game?
No.
No. Well, your game's air hockey.
Yeah, me and Jordan are making online air hockey, which I got the players working today. Like now they're smooth, which is really nice. The puck is smooth. It's just it only works with one player hitting it. The other,
Oh,
like the
right.
first player that joins can use the puck, but the second player, if they try hitting the puck, it'll shoot off, and then just retract right back to where you
'Cause
hit
it's
it from.
not synced, right?
Yeah, some type of ownership issue with how the package manager for online multiplayer handles like which computer kind of controls the puck. So, yeah.
And you were trying to figure out voice chat earlier.
Yeah, I never really never really finished that. Maybe I'll work on it at some point. I don't think I'll put it in this game though. Like if I were to do another game, have more time, and I wanted to make it more of a finished game, I probably would then.
Oh yeah.
Wireless. Create room.
Why did we start playing Among Us again today? Just
We
because.
started playing it because I brought up if we wanted to make our own Among Us game.
Oh yeah.
And then
I downloaded
you
it. to see
and then
how
you
it
just
was.
launched it to see how it was, and then everyone else launched it, and we started playing.
And then Katura actually found out about it and played it.
Yeah,
Well, I'm sure she found out about it before.
she definitely has known about it before.
She
she
just
prob-
never played it.
Yeah.
She was like, "What's the skeld?" Yeah, the way they messed that up was, I think they overworked the project a little too much.
Yeah, it was like perfect when everyone was playing it. It was perfect, and then yeah, they just.
And then the pandemic ended, and then it was just kind of a thing that was.
Oh, I still have.
What?
So I've put mods on Mario Kart 8 on my Switch. So some of the tracks are different.
You should definitely play some of the different tracks.
Let me see what happens, cause it's not choose Peach's like Peach Kingdom, I think it is. What's the one with Peach Castle? No, wait, let me see.
Oh, Mario Circuit. Okay.
So Mario Circuit on my Switch is different, and I'm really curious how that's gonna turn out. Cause you should just be playing Mario Circuit.
So
And-
yours will be just different.
Mine will be different. But what I'm curious about is it's a completely different track. Like the location of where you move is.
I wonder if.
So
the
I'm
map is
wondering
just,
if
like,
this either it won't load up, or when we play, my characters. Yeah.
I think it's because yours is modded and mine isn't.
So I'm going to just launch. I should probably. Huh. Okay.
We could multiplayer and then on my Switch.
No, I have a solution. I am just going to. Power options, turn off. I'm just going to go on to a unmodded version of the game.
That's
I just need to
fine, yeah.
restart the console. The annoying thing about modding a Switch is one thing that's kind of cool is you can just restart the console and it puts it back to its default state where it's not modded.
But then that's also a bad
But
thing.
the only well, okay, so the thing about that though is that when you do it and restart it, it is if you want to go back into a modded state, you have to. Oh, that looks weird now that my console's.
Back to model.
Yeah, I modded the home screen of the Switch,
Oh, right.
and so now it's just the regular one, and that's not normal. What was I gonna say? But if you want to make it modded again, you can get these like for like $30 on Amazon. These USB sticks that plug in, and they basically inject a payload to hack it again. But basically, the most common way is you just plug it into your laptop, and you can like basically
re-download it. Yeah.
re-download the mod, which you can do in like a minute. It's just annoying because you need a laptop with you. Did you create a room or should I? Oh yeah, you did.
I did. But don't you always have a laptop on you, William?
I almost do. Like if I have a Switch, I usually have a laptop. It's just annoying. I need to pull my laptop out and grab a USB-C cable. The one thing cool I found though for an option with this is because it's modded, I can go in. There's this setting I can turn on, and it turns the Switch. It basically turns the Joy-Cons. You can already do this through Bluetooth, is make them a controller, but you can also make it so the entire Switch is a controller.
Oh.
And then you can play because it's an entire controller. Basically, it just gets these two controllers, and then it gets an input of it and outputs it as a USB controller. Which is I never had a use case for it, but it kind of is. It's cool because if
Cool, yeah.
you could use it as a controller if you didn't have any other controllers.
Possibly. Have you ever seen anyone play as Morton
You mean in
in
Mario Kart?
Yeah.
I don't think so, no.
I think my mom did the one time we played, and it was really weird because he would make the weirdest sounds.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so originally when I started modding, I've had my Switch, like, hacked for months now. But when I originally modded like, when I started modding games was, I think, a week or two ago. And so the first game I modded was Breath of the Wild.
Oh yeah, with the
And
three
made
times the size.
Yeah, and so I made my character, instead of being Link, it's Zelda, and it's 3 times the size of your regular character. And so what I have tried doing, and I haven't succeeded yet, because it's a bit harder when you're fighting, but is defeat Ganon
Oh yeah.
as Giant Zelda. It actually does make it slightly easier because you're just so big that you can do like, you don't have to get too close to Ganon, and you just do these massive swings with your sword. But the only thing is that you're so big that moving around is a little clunky, and you have a way bigger target for Ganon to hit you with.
Oh yeah. Well then.
I've also just never been super good at defeating Ganon.
Well, isn't Ganon like the last thing, and then nothing happens afterwards?
Yeah. It's kind of something that you can do, but you don't really need to. The one thing that's annoying though is there's no like the Divine Beast. Breath of the Wild is an amazing game, but there's certain things they just kind of set up the game that kind of is like, why did they do this? Like, for example, the Divine Beast, once you complete the Divine Beast, you can't actually go back inside of them.
Oh.
And like just get chests or like walk around it with there being no objective anymore. Which is like, sure, I get that there's no really point in going inside of them anymore. But like, you probably had to actually add kind of some more code in order to make it so you couldn't go inside of them.
Yeah.
Like, it would have kind of been cool if you could just go back inside of them for whatever reason. And like, you can go back inside of them, but then you just do the boss battle. So.
Oh.
I'm excited though for playing the Tears of the Kingdom when that comes out.
Oh.
There's already I'll go on all these modding sites because I've started getting into mine now, and there's all these mods of people, and they're getting like, because there's all these just from either from trailers or from leaks of the game that have come out. People have already been making like, they'll like take what has been leaked about Tears of the Kingdom, or that you can see in trailers, and they add it into Breath of the Wild. So like, have you watched any of the trailers for Tears of the Kingdom?
No, not
Okay.
yet.
So they have like these floating islands now, and so people have made mods for Breath of the Wild now with all these floating islands that just float all over Hyrule. I haven't been able to get any of them working. Another reason is because a lot of the mods are for Wii U,
Oh.
and
Yeah.
although I have a moddable, like, although I have Breath of the Wild in Cemu, which is an emulator. I haven't bothered trying to get modding working for the Wii U yet. It would be the next thing, because a lot of people make way more mods for the Wii U because it's way easy. Way more people have
And I don't
a
think
modded
ever
Wii U.
fixed that, did they?
Fixed what?
I don't think they ever fixed not modding it.
Yeah, the Wii U's always been moddable. I think another reason is the way you're able to mod the Wii U is literally opening up a specific website in the Wii U web browser. And so I think that's one reason they never put a web browser in the Switch, was for that reason, which is kind of stupid. Like, I was watching this video and they were talking about, because the Wii U was kind of a flop. Like, it never was that successful of a console, but it had all these really cool features, and it would have been so fun if they put them in the Switch, but they never did. Like,
Yeah.
if you think about the Switch, it's a really bland, like, home screen, right? You launch the game, or you launch the
And that's
Switch,
pretty
you
much
have
it.
your games, you have like your users, you have settings, controllers, eShop, a few tiny other things, but that's kind of it. And so Wii U had all of that. Plus, they had like they used to have this built-in voice chat feature. They deactivated it in I think 2017 because there wasn't enough people using it to keep the servers running. But they used to have like a FaceTime type app with it.
Oh, well, that would be cool for gaming, though.
Yeah, and then they had like a I was watching this video and they talked about they had like a Nintendo Twitter on
Oh.
on the Wii U, and it was kind of like I don't know if this is a good thing or not, but like I guess kind of a bad thing, but like it was very like they never regulated what actually showed up on it. So people you could basically talk about any subject on it because Nintendo never watched what was actually going on the platform. But it's still like it was mainly used for like just people kind of sharing ideas of what they did in their games or like fan artwork, which was really cool. Um, and yeah, they just had these like cool kind of like community hub apps in the Wii U, and they had I think they had a bit of that in the Wii, but not really as much. Like they had a weather app in the Wii,
Oh, yeah.
and it would have just been cool if they had something like that on the Switch, but they never really added anything. They kind of just made it bare bones.
Yeah, I think. Well, they were just moving towards handheld at that point, right?
Yeah.
With the Wii U. They hadn't perfected the model.
But I just wish like all those apps that they had put
yeah.
onto the Switch. Or like also like the Wii U was like a multi-console like beast. Like you could play basically any Nintendo console on the Wii U. You could play Wii games, GameCube, and like all the way back to like the original Nintendo, like Game Boy, and like all these really old consoles.
Well,
Now the
'cause it was-
Switch has that for some consoles, but you have to have Nintendo Switch Online, and like it would have been cool like Wii games. You have these controllers. It would have been fun if they were able to have some type of emulator for Wii
Oh, yeah.
on the Switch, especially since there were so many fun games. Like Wii Resort was a really fun game on the Wii.
Well, I think they redid it for the Switch, but I'm sure it's not the same.
They made like a Nintendo Sports app or something, but it was not the same. They have like 8 different sports versus I think Wii Sports had like I don't know 15 or 20.
Well, Wii Resorts had like 15 or 20, but the original game had
Oh yeah.
I think 8. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, I mean the Wii Resort game. That one was that's like one of my favorite games. Like I loved the sword fighting game in it.
Oh yeah.
That was so much fun. And then they had like what was another one? I played a lot of I liked like the rowing ones where like you'd row a
Oh
canoe.
yeah.
And there was this one that I liked just because it was really hard. And me and my brother would play a lot where you have to throw a frisbee for a dog.
I actually found I revisited the game a while back, and I found that the rowing ones got harder for me, and then
Oh yeah.
the one with the frisbee was actually pretty nice to play.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so like yeah, the Wii would have been a fun console if they were able to put that on the Switch, but they never did.
Yeah.
I think one reason is to do with the fact that like the Wii U, the reason it was able to emulate the Wii, which was just a last generation console, was because it wasn't actually emulating the Wii, it was natively running on the hardware. So you didn't have to have some type of emulator. Like the Wii U was basically just a upgraded Wii. But the Switch is like completely new hardware. So I think the reason was just to do with the fact that they can't like the Switch isn't powerful enough to do a full emulation of the Wii.
Oh yeah.
Is probably the biggest reason. And then the other reasons because the Switch just doesn't have enough storage to download all of those Wii games. And so they wouldn't I couldn't see them really doing cartridges.
I mean, like, unless they made the Wii and the Switch compatible, I can't see that happening.
Yeah. The one thing I hope whenever Nintendo finally decides to do like a Switch 2 is just put more storage. The storage, like they have 32 gigs. You buy any console from, like I get the games aren't as big, on the Switch. But like even like a 128 or 256 gigabyte hard drive option would be nice because like you get like any other late like newest gen console and they have like anywhere between half a gig which or half a terabyte, which is pretty small still for them, to like a terabyte or more storage. And it would just be nice if Nintendo was able to do that with the Switch.
Yeah.
I did like the OLED models, they put twice the amount of storage, but even then 64 still is not that much. I remember when the original Switch came out, everyone was one complaint was Zelda Breath of the Wild was like the biggest game that came out of it on release.
Yeah.
And if you were to download it on the Switch, you couldn't download another game on the Switch because it took up all the storage. With it and the OS of the Switch operating system, it would take up all the storage on your console, other than for like 3 or 4 gigabytes.
Which is not enough for another game.
Yeah, like you might be able to download like some third-party indie games, but other than that, you're not going to be able to download any other like Nintendo releases.
I also hope that if they do make a Switch 2, that they add like somewhere you can put DVDs or something, and it would hopefully be compatible with
I
the old Wii.
highly doubt that because it's just DVDs have been. I wish they had like the one thing with the Switch. I've always wished they had was some type of like adapter that just plugged into the dock through USB
Yeah.
for that. But I don't think if they never did it with this Switch, I don't think they'll ever do it with a Switch 2, just because DVDs and Blu-rays DVDs are just so old, and no one really has them anymore or has them laying around as much anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But you can get like. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I think you can probably get a bunch of Wii games for like dirt cheap lately.
You can get a bunch of them, yeah. But yeah, you definitely can. Who knows? I've just never, yeah. I don't think they'd make it that much money off of it because you're using older games. And I find Nintendo's they've started going off the path of so much backwards compatibility, especially with the Switch, which is kind of sad. But maybe they'll backtrack.
Because, like, at least they made with the PS5 and the PS4, the games can be compatible now.
Yeah, I was surprised when they did that because the PS4 and PS3 were not backwards compatible.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I'm glad that they did do that with the PS5. I think Xbox has always done a good job at backwards compatibility.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if you have the latest Xbox, you can still play, I think, all the way back to either the original Xbox or the Xbox 360. But, yeah. That's the one thing the one thing about Xbox, though, is so many of their games are ported to PC.
Yeah.
And it's annoying because there's almost no Xbox simulators out there for PC because it's just such a so many games are just ported to PC. No one's bothered really making a good Xbox emulator for PC,
yeah.
which is kind of annoying because I've been wanting to do not like I don't want to do like latest gen like Xbox One or like Xbox Series S and X games, but I want to do like Xbox 360 games because you can find it's just such a big library, and it's an old enough console that I think most PC hardware that's kind of modern would be able to emulate it. Because they have emulators for the PS3.
Yeah, they do.
I just have never found really any good ones for the Xbox 360.
Well, yeah, because it's always kind of always on the PC already.
Yeah.
I mean, I did find like a good pirating website for video games, which is, I think it's GOG Unlocked.
Oh yeah.
But it has like a lot of different games, which I was happy about. But
for old I think all the way back. Like, I don't think they have Wii U games yet, but they have, I think, Wii and Xbox, and the original Xbox, as well as PS3 games, and then basically any console older than that. There's a website, I think it's vims.net, and they have a massive. They basically have almost every game for every console leading up to, um, I guess what, I think, yeah, up to like PS3 and Wii games.
Yeah.
So I've used that for a lot of like, cause I have for my Wii U, I hacked it so I could get all my Wii U games onto my PC to emulate.
Oh yeah.
My Wii I never bothered though because this console just is able to run all of them. The one thing annoying though about Wii is because they all use motion control, the motion controller, emulation's not emulating the Wii console isn't the best because there's a massive library of games you can't really play, um, because of the fact that the or to do with the fact that there's not really any good controllers you can hook up to an emulator that have motion controls.
Maybe if there's a way to download those games on the Wii, and then you would play with the controllers. But
There is a way of doing like, you mean like games that you download off the internet and then installing them on your Wii?
yeah.
There is a way to do that. I haven't figured it out because like I've been able to get it so on my Wii, I'm able to get my disc games for my Wii, and I'm actually able to like take all the game data on it and just install the game onto just onto my console. So I don't actually need the discs anymore.
Oh.
They're all installed on my console. I just haven't been able to figure out, and I've been able to make it so I can take games off of my Wii. I just have never been able to figure out how to put games onto my Wii without needing a disc or without having a disc. I know there's probably a way to do it. I just haven't figured it out. Like, I think it's just because of a software update that Nintendo did. But like, I know the Switch at one point had the option to install games off of a game card, just straight onto your Switch's operating system. And now, whenever I've searched up any tutorial, and then I install it on my console, it's like, oh, it's either like, oh, what it says is this game is, like the software for this game is, what's the word?
Corrupted?
Yeah, it's corrupted. And then it says re-download it from the eShop, so I click that, and it's like, oh, nobody on this console has bought in this game on the eShop, so you can't download it. Which is annoying. But yeah. The one thing though I hope is that after the Switch after the Switch 2 or like whatever Nintendo's next console is comes out, Nintendo will kind of stop locking down on the Switch is like emulation, and then people will just be able to come out with all these different ways to get around the software Nintendo already has, and Nintendo won't just keep updating the Switch to stop it.
Oh yeah.
Like I know like Sony's taking the complete opposite approach, where even though the PS4 is really like done, like they aren't really using they have the PS5 now, they still continue to update the PS4 to stop people from hacking the console.
Oh.
And so like if you have like currently the latest jailbreak for PS4 is like if you're running version 10.4 or I think it's like 10.3, and the latest version that that Sony's come out with is like 12 or 13 point something. And so unless you want to if you want to hack your PS4, you basically just have to wait and not update it for like a year until someone's able to come up with some way to mod the PS4 with the current software. But the annoying thing with that is you have to wait a year, and if you don't have the latest operating system or like latest software update for the PS4, you lose access to all Sony services. So you can't do anything, like you can't download games from their store, you can't check what friends are up to, you can't you can't do any online functionality. Anything to do with the internet does not work unless it's going through some type of third-party provider. But if it's connecting to Sony services, it won't work until you update your console.
It's 3:54.
Okay, after this race we can go.
Yeah. Well, we should leave.
Yeah.
I think it was a decent podcast, though.
Yeah. We talked about stuff. Actually being able to talk while playing Mario Kart instead of screaming at each other.
Well, I think it's just because of Katura not being here.
Yeah. Yeah, because last time we did this before Christmas, we just screamed at each other the entire time.
Oh, we finished on time.
Yeah. You want to do the outro?
Sure, right now?
Yeah.
Okay. And that was the 8th ever J.A.W.W.A podcast featuring William Jacobs. Woo! And Tamika Brown. Boo. Anyways. And Keanu on intro. And we'll talk to you guys next time.
Bye.